All right, guys, we're back, and you can kind of see what we've got going here, what we decided to do, and to solve our problem that we left you with in the last video. So we've constructed this platform here. This is going to be a landing instead of a stairwell coming down, and you can see that it gives us quite a bit more space up from the floor, so that gives us the headroom. So I haven't videoed this part, the construction up to this point, but I'll walk you around and show you what we did. And the reason for that was we were working on some other stuff over in the loft. We've been notching the beams for the electrical wires on the top of the beam. So for having an open beam loft, we have to run the wires concealed inside the top of the beam. And so we've got a few beams that we had to notch to run wiring in, and that was a pretty loud process, so I didn't have the camera on for that reason. So I'll bring you over here and I'll show you what we got going on. Okay, guys, so this is where we had the problem at the beginning. We had that the beam stringer came all the way down to here, and so it cut off the headspace walking into the stairwell. And in the last video I said the first stringer's fine. But that's basically, this header here is the right height off of the stairs below. And so we didn't have an issue lower down on the stairs, but coming up here, we had that issue. So this stringer that I've cut, that actually came down and continued on to this corner here. So now we've got this platform here, and this will all be open. Right now we've got all these angle braces on it to keep the platform stable. But we've run a beam across the front here to kind of match the motif that we've been going with. And then a beam down the side. And then these posts are actually going to be the finished posts, the handrails. And that far post is a little bit taller because at that point we've already hit the next step up. So that's one step taller, that post is. So we haven't finished these yet. Most of these connections are screwed in with the structural screws. And the posts are, they're nice and solid. And they go all the way down to the bottom of the platform. And then this area under here was always going to be here. It'll just be kind of a void. We might make like a little walk-in bookshelf or some little kid's nook or something under the stairs, which we haven't decided yet. And then the top of this platform is going to be the same floor as the loft. So since we have the open beam in the loft, we have this tongue and groove flooring. And on this side, on the top, it's smooth. But when we flip it over, let's see if I can flip it over here without dropping these down the hole. So when we flip it over, we've got that nice V groove, and so that's what will be showing on the bottom. So let's go back down to the bottom. So under here, you'll be able to see the ceiling will be tongue and groove, and then this side will be exposed. And then this beam will also be exposed. And then on the inside of here, I'm planning on putting like knotty pine or something, but that hasn't been clarified with the wife yet, so that's just preliminary. So inside this little wall here, not on the stairwell side, but on the back side under the stairs, we're going to put a sheet of OSB, and then same thing. On the inside here, because we've got a little ledge to play with, we've got some extra space, we're going to put a sheet of OSB on there. And that'll give us our shear, our stiffness, so we can take off our angle braces after we get our floor down. So if we get OSB on two sides for shear, and then we get the floor on the top, then that'll keep the whole thing rigid. I'll back up here so you can get a better view of it. Okay, so there's our platform, and then our stringer going up to the top. So we'll have the second stringer will dive right into this bottom post right here after the floor goes on. And then there'll be 4 steps that come out the front here. So we'll have the landing, and that's the part that uses up more space than where we're planning. So we're doing this a little backwards. We should have started from the back side, and the reason that we didn't is because this front edge is the critical edge. So when we get to the back, we're going to have to try to slide a piece in since we have this dado to slip a board into. But otherwise, yeah, we're going crazy with it. Got our stringers in, the 2 short stringers, and one of the long stringers, and we're just chugging right along. Just a little one?
Yeah.
Either that's real hard or she's dying. She's dying. Over on the beams, I think. Tilt it up. Tilt it up toward me. Okay. Yeah, more. There you go. this way a bit.
You carved a notch in there. You said? For some reason.
Oh no, that was snafu. This side won't be showing, so. Alright, grab the last board. Hey guys, welcome back, and we're here today. We're going to start working on getting our stairs laid out, and the way these stairs are going to be done is we'll have a stair bracket made by Simpson Strong Tie, and it'll mount on the inside of these stair stringer beams, and then we'll use the same tongue and groove 1x5 or 2x6 that we used on the deck here that you saw, and then the thing that will give that even more strength than this, that decking can span 4 feet, is that we'll have under the nose of the stair, we'll have a 3/4 inch plywood riser that'll be glued into a dado on the bottom of the stair, and then on the back of the stair below, it'll be glued and screwed into the back of the previous stair. So starting down here, the front, which would be, it's a riser, but it's in the front of the stair because we don't have a step on the first spot here. It'll come up, so the front of that step will be supported by that riser, and then on the back of that step, the riser will be screwed into the back of it, and then up into the top of the front, the nose of the next stair above. So we do have a nose that hangs over, so that's why we'll do the dado on the bottom. So that's what we're going to be working on today, and let's get plugged into it. All right, guys, so we're going to start up the top because we have a little bit of play in where the last stair ends at the bottom. And so, you know, let me know in the comments if you want me to put a little more detail about how to figure out stairs. But otherwise, we're gonna go. Our stairs are gonna be, they're like almost 10 1/4 inch tread, plus we're gonna add another inch for a nose. But as far as laying it out, it'll be like 10 1/4, and then our steps, our rise is 7 1/2 inches. So we'll basically use our level, and we'll get this laid out, our level and our square, and we'll kind of see where we end up at the bottom. And we want to maintain the same distance on our slope of our stringer, which we can't really mess with the steps at all because they have to be pretty consistent. They can only be like an 1/8 inch of variance between any one step. Bo's working on the cross pieces that go between the rafters so that we have a place to secure the wall. So we're at 6 1/4 now. So we're a 1/4 inch off from top to bottom. So I'll just double check all the measurements. And then what we can do is we can add a 1/16, or drop 4 steps, a 1/16. That way we'll make up that 1/4 inch, and then no stair will be off more than a 1/16 from each other. So here's our stair bracket, and it'll go like so. And I just realized that on the top there's only 2 screw holes. So, and then since these are structural stair brackets, these are the structural screws that go with it. So they go in this bracket. But this tread width is just a hair longer, or the tread depth is just a hair longer than the than 2 of the tongue and groove boards. So our tread will be about 11 1/4, and so we'll have 3 tread boards. The tread boards, I guess these tongue and groove boards, they're only 5 inches of usable with the tongue cut off and the groove. There's just only 5 inches of usable space, I guess. So 2 of those is 10 inches, and then that's not enough. Then we'd have to have a small piece to finish off the tread. So since there's only 2 screw holes here, I'm probably just going to go ahead and get a 2x12, and then we'll have to rip it down. But I'm not even sure a 2x12 would be enough. Probably not. So we'll have to figure that out anyway to see if we can get our tread. But I don't want to use the tongue and groove boards just because there's only 2 screw holes. Might not support very well. All right, guys. So this is what the stairs are going to look like. So we got the 2x12 tread with the rounded nose, and then we've got a 3/4 inch plywood riser. And so on the bottom, underneath here, there's a dado that accepts the riser, and it's glued and nailed through the bottom of through the top of the riser and into the tread. And then the bottom of the riser is glued and nailed into the back of the tread. So when this tread gets stepped on, or let's say if we step on the tread here, the front of the tread is supported in the middle by this riser, which you have the strength of the 3/4 inch riser on end. And then you've also got the glue and nail joint to the next riser down. So pressure down on here puts pressure on the riser, which puts pressure on the next tread, which also puts pressure on the other riser, and so on and so forth. So yeah, so the back is supported then by this riser as well, which also will pull down on this tread. So it's, even though the tread spans the full 3 feet of the stairwell, it's very strong and doesn't have much flex at all. So very, very good strength. So it's a cold day again today. We're going to try to get as much footage as we can. We did those 3 because they were the hardest. The only access to the back was through this little hole in the side, because we had to put this panel on the back for shear. So those were the hardest. Now we have this part going up to the loft. So we'll start at the top, and there's no riser board at the top of this one like there was on the lower one. So we'll just be able to work our way down. And then when we get down to the bottom, we actually have good access through the back to get that last tread and riser put on. So we'll get this set up, and I'm almost sure we're going to lose battery power. It was 4 degrees this morning and snow. We're supposed to get another big storm tomorrow. But we'll try to get some footage so you can see a little bit of what we're doing. And otherwise, we'll show you what it looks like at the end, and we'll keep going, and hopefully you get to see some of the other progress when we start putting the deck down on the loft up there. And we got the posts And we probably won't put the handrail in till later, but we got to get the posts up in there too. All right, let's get going. So because this is the first stair and there's no riser to support the back, on this particular one, we will actually put a piece of the riser and nail it up underneath here. But we also want to glue that with our subfloor glue, which is frozen. So we'll have to take that in and thaw it out, and it doesn't affect it. I've also got some different glue coming, but it won't be here for a couple of weeks. So today we'll go ahead and lay all the treads, and then we'll come back and add the risers later. Except for maybe the last stair, which we might have to wait on the riser for that one. So the tread anyway.
Can you cut me another one?
Uh-huh. It's all right. It just the bearings do that sometimes. It's old. Okay guys, so we got everything all done, and just like I said, we did run out of batteries, so we got a quick charge on this, and there's not very much left, but got it all done. I'll take you around the back. So here's the back side of the stairs, and I just wanted to show you this if you haven't done this before, so you can see how we're able to span the full 3 feet width of this stairwell without putting a third stringer down the middle. So we have 1.5 inch thick treads, so those are 2x12s. And then the riser is a 3/4 inch plywood, so that's this. So up at the top here, it is in a dado that is toe-nailed from the front with finish nails, and it is also glued. So it actually is slid up into the tread. And then at the bottom here, it's glued and nailed to the back side of the next tread down. And so if there's weight put down on the front of this tread up here, it has to not only push this tread or this riser down, but it also is connected to this tread. So to push this tread down, it has to come down here and push this riser down. And then also the next one up, the next riser up supports it from sagging too. So it's a pretty stout system. It's a very stiff stair. This is the first time I've done it this way with beam stringers, and I was really surprised how stiff the stairs were. And then there's not a whole lot of opportunity for squeaking here. Probably the main opportunity for squeaking will be on the ends if there's any kind of rubbing or any flex between the stringer and the stair itself. But everything else is glued and nailed, so we're hoping for many years of service without squeaks.